Hello and welcome to another episode of Building More Than Just a Body. I'm Celeste Brainsturk and I'm here with my dear friend Keara Palmay, who is absolutely amazing and such a powerhouse woman. And seriously, she's changing lives in multiple different ways, in multiple different fields. And I am very, very lucky to have met her and to be living in her passion and hearing this. So I would love for her to expand on it because she's amazing.
Oh, thanks, Celeste. I appreciate it. So happy to be here. Yeah,
Yes, of
so
course.
so what do you want me to expand upon? Like what I'm doing, or what do you want to know about me?
Exactly. Go ahead and just tell everybody what you're doing, what you're up to, what your true passion is that you're stepping into, because I know you've made some shifts. And
Yeah.
so I'd love to hear about them.
Yes, yes, yes. So I have entrepreneurial ADD, as I think a lot of entrepreneurs do, because it's just like a creative thing where there's been so many things that I've wanted to do, but all along I was just trying to find my passion, my passion, my passion. So at this point, I finally feel like I'm like, boom, like I've knocked the ball out of the park. It's like I'm there, and it feels so great. So what I do is really I help people find their passion, because that was such a long journey for me. And then I started getting, I don't want to say life coach training, but it basically is. I got coached as a results coach. So I've gone through like really intense training through an organization, one of the best in the world. Actually, I would say the best in the world. So I'm a results coach, and then I mix that with internet marketing because I've been doing business coaching for the Online SuperCoach, where we teach personal trainers how to start an online business. So between all of that, I help people profit off their passion by coaching them into finding what their unique gift is, and then teaching them the systems of how to set it all up and make money off of all their awesome dreams and ideas.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that you created this thing called passion and profitable. I think that's so true, everything you just said. And I'm really glad that I finally figured out what your true passion is, that now you can help other people find it too, because everyone I know who talks to you, and when I talk to you, it's just this awakening and this breakthrough stuff. It's really, I mean, you are really powerful, not it. You are a very powerful person, and you have so much knowledge to share with the world. So I want to know how you decided to switch from, because I know you were an online health coach, fitness coach. You have tons of knowledge in multiple different areas. So how did you make this switch?
Yeah, I made the switch because something was just not right. Something always felt incongruent. When I graduated college, I just knew that there had to be more to life than this. Like my current reality, I was like, there's got to be more than this. So I just went from job to job to job, seeking fulfillment, to the point that all my friends called me a job slut because I was just hopping around and, getting dirty up in all these different locations and careers, and none of them made me happy. So that's when I met our dear friend AJ Mirzad, and I was getting certified as a health coach at that time. I was getting certified as a trainer, but then I realized I could go online with it. So that's when I did that. And that was really fun to do online fitness coaching. And I realized at that point I really like to lead. I really like to cheer people on. I really like to help them see the best in what they can create out of themselves. But it wasn't really until my dad passed away that I realized that health wasn't the true calling that I was looking after, because it's not what I was truly seeking, because he was healthy and my dad just like literally had a heart attack like in an instant. And so that made me realize, like, once he passed, I'm like, wow, I was thinking about his legacy and the impact he left on the world, and it made me wonder, like, well, what's mine? And so I wanted to help more and more people leave theirs as well. So that's really what transitioned me into, again, helping people profit off their passion. It's not so much about money, but of course we want to live our passion, but we don't want to live on the streets. So, like, I'm all about helping people get their message out there. Can you see me? It's all like choppy here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see you.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I transitioned. I knew I had to segue into something else. I went and got certified in like neuro-linguistic programming and different like life coaching kinds of places. And I was like, wow, I really like to help people have these breakthrough moments where they're like, wow, that's what lights me up. So that's really what transition was, just throwing myself in the trenches, doing different stuff. I was a health coach, then I was a business coach, then kind of like a life coach, and it all just like made epic love and created the what I am today.
That is so cool. I love it. And it's definitely true. I mean, I see you helping people make breakthroughs daily, which is why I think this is actually so cool and so perfect that you've done this on your own now and you've created this business. And so you mentioned NLP, which I find absolutely fascinating, and you took us through training at the seminar we were both at. And so I'd love if you could share with the people listening and viewing exactly what that is and what that means.
Right. Great question. So neuro NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming. So that literally means that we use words to condition our minds. And when you change your mindset or your belief structures, then it changes your behaviors. And when you change your behaviors, you change your results. So when we condition our mindset to think in favor of what we want as opposed to what we don't want, then we will influence the way we behave and shape our reality. So it all starts with the mind. And what neuro-linguistic programming does is it's a really fancy term for entering someone's model of the world, entering someone's perspective, diving in their brain, understanding where they're coming from, why they're behaving the way they do, and then interrupting and breaking those patterns. Because, it's like story. If someone's telling a story, like, oh, I can never succeed at a diet because I just always eat pizza whenever I try to diet. So if you really believe that, it's going to influence your behavior, so that anytime you go on a diet, you're just going to eat pizza because that's who you think you are. So it's until you break that pattern and replace it with something else and condition that, that you change your identity. And then once you see that your results change, then the results influence your mindset. So when you see, oh, wow, I can diet, then the result changes your mindset to say, oh, wow, I can. And then that changes your behavior. And it goes all into a cycle, but it all starts with the mind. So it's just talking about how to help people change their perspective, change their mindset, influence it to create lasting change in empowering ways.
Yes, I agree completely. I mean, I wasn't focusing on my mindset until as of lately, and it's made huge changes in my life. I mean, not only on the business side of things, but just the way I see the world is so different. I mean, when you show gratitude daily, when you look at what you actually want out of life and you like write this down and you really use words, like I've become way more aware of the words I use. I've become more aware of the words other people use because like you said, it's conditioning. It's almost like when you go to the gym, for people who maybe haven't done this mindset work or don't know, think about it when you go to the gym and you're a personal trainer, or maybe you're someone who's just been working out for a long time, or you're someone who hasn't been and you're feeling like, wow, I'm really good at squatting. And then you look next to you at the squat rack and someone's doing a horrible form. You're aware that it's horrible. Or maybe you don't know your form and you're aware that you don't know.
Yeah.
So you can approach it like so many different ways. But you're right. It's all conditioning, and mindset is huge. And it seems to be like a common theme of everybody who's been coming on here, because we all know how important it is. And so what would you tell somebody who's under the impression that they are not worthy enough, or they don't live a life of abundance, let's say money-wise, to invest in themselves or invest in a transformation?
I would say that's all the reason more of why they need to hire a coach. Because if they think they don't have money, then that's a limiting belief. Like I said, beliefs shape your behavior, shape your results, aka brokenness. If you're broke up here, you're broke out here. point blank. So if you're broke, if you think you don't have money to invest in a coach, good luck ever finding your way. Good luck ever making money. Like,
Exactly.
you are your greatest asset. People say, oh no, my house is my greatest asset. False. You are your own greatest asset. So when you invest in yourself, it's like you can't sell a house. If you're selling your house from the 80s and people walk in and see that ugly ass, brown ass, like yellow gold, weird 80 color kitchen, they're like, I'm out of here. But once you invest in that kitchen, you get it renovated, it looks great, then people walk in, they're like, oh, I'm sold. And it's the same thing. When you invest in yourself, then you give more value to the world because you receive value. First off, money is an exchange of energy. So you're paying your coach value in terms of money. Your coach is going to give you value in terms of knowledge, wisdom, insight, experience, tools, and resources to take you to the top. So with all that value you receive, it's just second nature to give it out. And so you start just unconsciously or consciously sharing all that you're learning, and as a result, the more value you give out, the more you receive. It's just money karma. So all the stuff that you invest in, it's going to circle back to you in terms of money at the end of the day, because money is value, and if you're sharing value with the world, whatever it is that you want in life, whatever it is that you want, give it out first. Give it first, and it will come back. If you want love, show the world more love. It comes back. If you want money, invest in money. Invest in yourself, because you're going to be giving out value. It's going to come back. And that's why I'm giving all the profits from my book to charity. I'm like, shit, you know, it would be nice for me to make all the money off my book, but I always want to make more money, and I want to give to charity, so I'm just going to give it all away because I know it's going to come back full circle at some point in time.
Yes, exactly. You're living in the mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, and
Yes.
you totally accept, and you know deep down, because like you said, you've conditioned yourself to, there's no question about it, like everything that you're giving out is coming back in, and most likely tenfold. I mean,
yeah,
it's nearly impossible if you were to invest in something to not gain value, like you said. And it's actually like a key point I want to touch on. When you invest in something, you're not only increasing the value of which you know, but the value of those around you. So if your excuses are like, you know, like I don't have money, or oh, like I'll lose out time with my family, or the time or the effort, and my ex needs me and needs me, it's like, no, none of that matters until you can work on yourself, because as soon as you improve yourself, literally everything in the world starts to improve. And a lot of that is because you shift your frame of mind to see things differently, but also you are adding value to people's lives in ways that you never have before, solely because you saw the value in yourself to give yourself that worth and that value and invest in yourself.
Totally. Everyone's worth it. You know, I mean, I don't mean to be so frank, but I'm blunt because it's truthful. And the truth is that nobody gives a shit about your goals as much as you do, right? Like, you know, your boyfriend might have your back, your mom might have your back. They're like, oh, that's great, honey. You know, but no one knows what it takes to, like, grind to get to the goal. But when you have a coach, they know exactly what it takes. And your coach has already been there. So if you're down here, your coach is up here, they know exactly what steps you need to take to get to the next level, and they'll hold you accountable. And they give as much of a shit about it as you do, because they're 50% of the part. You know, they're involved. You hired them, so they're in the trenches with you and holding you accountable. And that in itself creates so much more momentum.
Yes, I absolutely love what you said, because that is true for any coach. Because, and you know this, especially you've been every type of coach, and you've been awesome at every type of coach that you've been. And seriously, like if you think about it, no coach can be great at what they do if they don't care. And
Yeah.
no coach becomes a coach because they want to make money or this thing. Every coach usually becomes a coach because they're passionate about it and they want to change lives and they want to see transformations. And you're so right about the fact that every coach literally goes into the trenches with you. And why? Because our success is their success.
Right.
So we don't ever want, I know personally, I don't want to have a personal training client for years because that means I'm not doing my job, you know? So us coaches, we want to be able to take you in and spit you out brand new with some shiny extra little bits and angles and edges and, you know, everything you ever wanted and more, because that's what we're here for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you mentioned how a lot of people are like, oh, I want to take care of someone else first, or I want to do this first. So a lot of people are too busy taking care of other people and not themselves. But I heard a really interesting metaphor, and I apply it to life now all the time. But it's like we've all been on airplanes, right? And if you haven't, then when you get on the airplane, there's a flight attendant up front, and she says, in case of emergency, put your gas mask on, or put your oxygen mask on first. And the reason why she says to put your oxygen mask on first is because if you run around the plane putting on everyone else's mask but your own, and you pass out, then you become a burden to everybody else on that plane. And the same applies to life. If you're running around taking care of your kids, making them the priority, of course your kids are great, but you have to learn when to take care of yourself and to put yourself first. Because let's face it, if you're running around driving Johnny to soccer practice, taking care of Anna and Susan, and dropping your hat and living a life of reaction, then all of your needs and priorities are going to be shoved to the side. And guess what? You might end up gaining 60 pounds before you even know it. And looking down and saying, shit, what happened? And it's like, well, at that point, do you really think that Susan, Johnny, are you being the best role model for them at that point by living a life of reaction? And another thing is, like, if you don't create your own plan, you're going to fit into somebody else's. So if you're just trying to please everybody else, you're never going to have your own plan. And as a result, you're always going to lack fulfillment. So people think it's selfish to say, oh, I put myself first. But when you put yourself first, you lead by example. You're a role model. And you're fulfilled. And all emotions are simply energy. So when you're in a place of feeling happy, that's energy, and you can share it with the people you love, and they pick it up, and they say, wow, look at mommy, look at whoever they are, they're so happy, I want to be just like her, she gets shit done.
Exactly. And you know, a lot of people say, I want to give them the best life that they could ever imagine. It's like, okay, well, like, give yourself that, and they'll see the value in it, because it's so true. Like, leading by example is a powerful, powerful thing, and you can still be really, really good at everything you do in life, and you can actually be a better role model, parent, mentor, whatever it is you may be doing or pursuing, better if you improve your own value first, or else, you know, this will be you, and you'll just fall here, and other people will go here. And then you'll wonder, when you're here, or to anyone who's listening, when you're at the bottom, you're in this valley, and you've been pushing everybody up, right? You're like, go, 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 I got you. And then you're going to look up, and no one's going to be there to bring you up with them. All you've been doing is setting everybody up. So you have to, like, climb with the people you help, and you have to be the helping hand that's coming from the top, because if not, I mean, one, no one's going to really trust you. And two, no one's really going to believe you, because you're not doing it yourself. It's like, how can you tell someone to take care of themselves if you don't do it yourself?
Exactly.
So I want to know, on a personal level, how do you show yourself love every single day?
Oh man, I have an incantation. It sounds so funny. I literally wake up, I look in the mirror, and I just go, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. And I literally just repeat it. And I know that sounds so pompous, but literally I laugh at myself because it sounds ridiculous. So then already I'm in a good mood because I'm making fun of myself, laughing at myself. But then I'm like, you know what? I am the shit. And then anytime I have an interview, anytime I public speak, anytime I get on a coaching call, if I'm in a if my mood has sank and I gotta get my shit together before a call, I'm just like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm the shit. I mean, otherwise I work out, I take care of my body, I prepare all my own food. Sometimes on the weekends I'll go out, but I'm very conscious of what I eat. I take Himalayan sea salt baths, like once a week to detox my body. That's really awesome. Otherwise, I mean, on a consistent basis, that's kind of, oh, I always get my nails did. I mean, come on, look at these. Yeah, but I find little ways, and it's simple. Like, you don't have to, like, invest 2 hours of time in showing yourself love, but even reading a book is, like, adding value to myself. To me, that's showing myself love.
Yes, exactly. I agree. I was speaking with someone the other day, and we were talking about every single thing that we do is really showing ourselves love when we choose to. Like, for example, you wake up, you give yourself this awesome energy, you make fun of yourself, but in a way that makes you feel like, yeah, you know what, I am the shit. And then you feel great, and then you have this healthy meal, I'm sure, you work out, and you just constantly put yourself in the state of energy, and that it's in itself is showing love. And I think that is so cool and awesome, because a lot of us who are helping people to feel that way are already living in that, and so we know the tools. And so I want to ask you one last question before I let you go, and that is, if you could share your one message, what is it that the world needs to know right now?
Be yourself. Be yourself. Stop comparing yourself to Instagram models, to Facebook, to the media. It's all bullshit. The shit that you see is so fabricated. Even Facebook is fabricated. You might see friends from high school and it looks like they're having the best life. They have the best relationship of all time. But little do you know that behind the scenes, they could be going through a divorce. And it might sound cynical, but the truth is that even people on Facebook are only posting the best of their lives. So when you have the ability to just be yourself and own all the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs that make you you, then that is when you will start to find your truth. So you got to strip away at these fucking layers that are so surface, trivial, and superficial, and get to your core truth and shine that bright light on the world, because you have unique gifts that are uniquely you, and you got to own those, because we need it, baby. So bring it.
Yes. Oh my God. If you didn't just get fired up, then I don't know what the heck you're doing on my podcast. Seriously, that just gave me this like energy that I need to go and like take over the world even more. Like, seriously. You're so awesome. I love that. And yeah, I can't agree more. You know, the world's full of a ton of fake crap, and if we could all be ourselves more, and I know me and you embrace sharing the ins and the ups and downs of our lives every day, and people crave that. Why? Because we don't have enough of it. And you hit that nail on the head, and you're right. We need that, because everybody has something unique to bring to the world. There's something unique in all of us, and I mean, we wouldn't have all separate types of DNA and all these separate makeups if that wasn't the case. So I love that that's your message. That is so awesome.
Exactly. And I go deep into that in my book. I'm actually about to publish a book. I don't have a set launch date yet, but my editor said it's probably going to be a month. So all your followers, I want them to stay tuned, because the book is kick-ass. It helps you find your purpose, find your passion, just grab life by the balls. It's called Dominate Life, How to Cut the Bullshit and Cut to the Chase. And it really is just like the simplest strategies to just dominate life. But the question that I say in order to be more aligned with your true self is, every morning when you wake up, and this is a question I ask myself every morning, but every morning when you wake up, ask yourself, how can I add the most value to the world today just being myself? Again,
Wow.
How can I add the most value to the world today just being myself? And guess what? When you ask a really good question, you get really good answers. So I challenge you guys to ask that question every morning, see what comes up, and it'll lead you somewhere empowering.
Yes, seriously, guys, do that. That is so awesome and such a great idea. And of course, since I want them to be able to connect with you more and actually end up reading your book, getting your book, and hearing your message daily,
yes,
where can they find you?
They can find me at facebook.com/Keara Palmay. My name is spelled really strange. It's KEARA PALMAY. And my website is on my Facebook. But definitely follow me, facebook.com/Keara Palmay. And I would love to hear from anyone and really just add as much value as possible and stay in touch, because if people like me, chances are I'm going to like them too. So holler at me on Facebook.
Yes, slide into your DMs.
Hey!
Seriously though, I mean, really go show Keara some love and just let her know how much value she added to your life just from this call, and just shoot her a message or a post on her wall and just say, hey, what's up? I tried this today. I asked myself that question, and guess what? I'm adding tons of value, so get after it.
Yes, and thanks Celeste too. She's a badass.
Thank you. So thanks for coming on. It was awesome, and we will definitely be chatting soon.
All right, awesome, Celeste. It was great after all the technological issues we had. I'm so glad this worked out.
Me too.